What is going on, guys? Nathan here with the Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary, and today we're going to be talking about rocket jumping for the soldier. Now, a subscriber requested this a little while ago, maybe it was a couple of weeks or something. It was pretty long, to be honest, but I felt that I should make this anyway. Now, keep in mind that I'm not like a UGC competitive soldier, whatever. I'm not like super good. However, I'd just like to fill you in on my opinion on rocket jumping, and more as in like when you should rocket jump and when it's like okay to rocket jump, because technically, I mean, if you look at it from a logistics standpoint, rocket jumping is basically increasing your mobility for a short period of time in exchange for a loss of health, and obviously the gunboats decrease that loss of health. But I'm going to be talking or rather discussing, assuming that we aren't using the gunboats, because for me personally, I don't use the gunboats almost ever. It's just a shotgun to me is much more useful. So without the gunboats, we're going to be discussing based on the fact that we lose roughly 30 to 40 health per rocket jump, and then roughly 10 to 20 for fall damage, so roughly like 40 to 60-ish health per rocket jump. Now, rocket jumping is a really gray area in terms of when you should, when you shouldn't, because it all depends on the situation. So there are three factors that I take into account before I rocket jump. First of all, in order of importance, it is the health pack availability nearby. For example, am I rocket jumping into a full health pack where I can just refill my health right away? Is there a medic nearby that can heal me? Stuff like that. Second of all would be my health that I currently have before I rocket jump. That's important. And then third would be the danger level that I'm getting myself into or getting myself out of. So the availability of a health pack and or a medic is key, because that will restore all of the health you've lost during a rocket jump. Now, this is fairly obvious, but it is really important, because do I really want to do 2 rocket jumps in a row on something like, let's say, upward, for example, where I'm going through just a dry zone where there's no health packs? Now, maybe you could argue that you might want to. If you have the escape plan, you can run a bit faster, still maintain that mobility, but it's also important to refill your health. Make sure you're not killed right away. If you just march up to the front lines with 30 health, you know, that does nobody good. So that's just something to keep in mind. You know, do you know if your medic is up on the battlefront that can heal you if you call for medic, you know, when you get up there? Are there health packs on the way? Stuff like that. But once again, you can use the escape plan if you are low on health, which makes it even more of a gray area. But for example, on something like Gold Rush, on the part of Gold Rush that I'm playing on right now, where there's the train tracks on the left side, rocket jumping out of spawn would be totally okay for me personally, because there's just a full health pack right there to refill my entire health. So there really is no cost in the long run to gaining that extra mobility, crossing pretty much half the map out of spawn. Now, the health that you have before you rocket jump is obviously also very important. If you have 60 health, and depending on the danger level, you might not want to rocket jump, simply because you're going, I mean, depending on the fall damage as well, you might not survive that rocket jump. And like I said, this is a very gray area, and you have to use a lot of common sense. But typically, I think rocket jumping is generally okay if you have like 150 health or more, maybe even like 130. But like below that, for me personally, I'm just a little bit more reluctant. I'm not sure about other people or really like how competitive people do it, but that's just for me. Finally, a third factor to take into account is the danger level at which you're rocket jumping into. Now, this is a gray area as well. I mean, obviously you don't want to rocket jump into like 2 sentries that with like, what, 50 health, expecting to take them out. I mean, that's just not going to happen. But then again, there are tactics out there where you rocket jump into a group of enemies, get a lot of splash damage, and then rocket jump out. I mean, there are tactics like that where it's just kind of up in your face. But in terms of the average Team Fortress 2 player, I would recommend just maintaining a feel for your front lines on the battlefield. And this is with TF2 specifically that I've noticed your front lines shift a lot. I mean, it only takes an Uber truly to push your team back a lot. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, don't just rocket jump into a sentry. You know, that's not gonna work. But I would say it's mostly common sense, you know, just, yeah, I mean, try not to rocket jump into a sentry. That's pretty much the worst case scenario. I've done it personally. I'm sure other people have as well. Sometimes I take it by surprise. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in terms of rocket jumping. It's a lot of common sense, and Yeah, so this gameplay on Gold Rush, which I'm sure you figured out by now, I think I did pretty good deathmatching. The only thing is that I think blue typically does better deathmatching on this part of Gold Rush specifically, simply because red doesn't have much choice other than to stay behind that no man's land where the cart actually travels, like before the bridge. So I did pretty well deathmatching, but I didn't really stay on the cart as much as I wanted. But yeah, that's kind of my summary of this match. We do end up losing, sad to say, but yeah, kind of a spoiler. Anyway, that's pretty much the video, guys. Here is where I will stop commentating. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a rating on the video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe for more Team Fortress 2, and feel free to watch the rest of it. I don't know if you want to just see us fail, but I think I might get a couple more kills here. Anyway, that's pretty much the video, once again, and peace out.